Hey, it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel. So now, I just did the video where I tell you about characters that should be on the naughty list, and this one is also inspired by one of bringing in books, videos about characters that should be on the nice list. I mean, there's a lot of book characters, and I mean, if you do enough consideration, you could find every book character you've ever read or know enough about to determine which one to be on which list, because every character will go on one list. I mean, at least you think they would. But so there's plenty of characters that would be on the nice list, but I just went with the ones who pretty much be on the top of the nice list because they're the nice of the nice. So there's plenty of other characters that would go on the nice list, even if they aren't, even if they have more of an edge, even if they are hot-headed or something or whatever. There's plenty of characters that would go on the nice list that just won't make it on this list because these characters are pretty much the characters that would be on the top of the nice list. For the naughty list, I only had 10 characters, but on here it was a little harder because I do have a lot more nice characters I realized that I really want to mention. So this one ends up being 20 characters, but oh well. And there's going to be multiple for some books, and I did not mean to do that, but I just couldn't help myself. So anyways, yeah, this was inspired by bringing in books, so please subscribe and follow her. She's doing Vlogmas, which is basically where she uploads every day of December, and she's doing Christmassy videos, whether or not it's Christmassy tags or Christmassy book reviews or something like that. So yeah, I keep hitting this stupid light switch. I talk with my hands a lot, so it's not really smart to be by this light switch, but oh well. So yeah, let's get into this. I almost called it a tag, but this is not a tag. So one of the ultimate cinnamon rolls of all time is none other. I then actually mentioned him on the other list, but not because he's on the naughty list, just because I mentioned him to kind of explain the person that was on the naughty list. Brink from Bewitched and Oz. I love him. He's such a sweetheart. He is everything. I can't wait to. I'll be rereading this soon. I cannot wait because I love him, and I can't wait to read more about him and Ziri's relationship because I love it and I need it more in my life. And it's very underrated, and I want to talk about it more. Actually, lately I have been talking about it a lot more, about Brink and about Ziri and about their relationship and about this book in general, which makes me happy because I honestly do consider this one of my favorites. And it's the only duology I've ever read. But Brink is such a sweetheart. He cares about other people. He has a good heart, and he helps Ziri so much, even though Ziri isn't particularly always nice to him at the beginning, because she has a crush on his older brother Ned, and she kind of looks at Brink as his annoying little brother. And so she isn't mean to him or anything, but she just she brushes him off a lot, and he does not deserve that. But I do ship them, and she does realize what kind of a great guy he is, because he is. He's a great guy. He's one of the purest of the pure. I mean, and there is this one really sad scene where you think he betrayed them, but then it turns out it was a big misunderstanding, which made me happy because I was like, no, you cannot do this to my heart. You cannot do this to my Brink. But yeah, he is just amazing. He is everything. Oh, I love him, and he deserves the world. So if you have not read this book, and it's a duology, and the second one's called Magic Below, definitely read it, if only for Brink and Ziri's relationship. Seriously, it's definitely deserves a read just for that. Seriously. But the storyline, the plot, the characters in general, the magic and everything, it all deserves to read, really does. So yeah, Brink would definitely be one of the top people on the nice list. Next is Victoria, aka Lake, because for some I don't remember why would they call her because she was a teen pop star. I think that was her stage name or something. I don't remember, but yeah. Looking for the book. I'm gonna grab this instead of. Okay, here's the first book. So Lake, I don't even think you meet her until the middle of this book. She's one of the effigies, the air effigy. So she can control air. She also has I almost said asthma, but that's not it. Anxiety. Which is showing her, I think it's actually her very first scene, she was having a panic attack. She actually, because effigies, they fight phantoms, which are basically twisted spirits. So, she actually, and she's a teen pop star too, she's 17, and she stopped fighting phantoms for a while because it gave her a lot of anxiety, and they were kind of bringing all the FGs together because they work independently, but there's this big great evil showing, so they were kind of bringing all of them together. And then she was kind of trying to get away because she was having a panic attack. She didn't think she could do it, because she is just 17, and the thought of being in these life-death situations every day terrified her. And I think it's actually I've never really read many books about that, and it's just a nice representation. And I don't know much about anxiety. I mean, I found out some things about anxiety, and a couple of things I actually do. So now I'm starting to wonder if I might have anxiety just a little bit. I know I've always kind of had test anxiety, but that's something different. But anyways, it's a nice representation, and I think they do it pretty realistically. But it's just, but she's just such a sweetheart, and she cares so much, and she has the biggest heart in the series. I'm not even joking you. She is just so amazing, and she really cares. She's there for Maya, and I think that's a very, very underrated friendship. Because Maya's she doesn't really is around Chayrin or Victoria that much, to be honest. Her main story, honestly, is all about being around Aiden and discovering Aiden's truth, and this and that. But her and Victoria do have a nice friendship, and Victoria's always there for Maya, and it's such an underrated friendship, and she's such an underrated character, and she's such a sweetheart, and she really cares. She has a good heart. She always thinks about others, and even though she doesn't want to be an effigy with me, she could save the world and save all these people, because she does have to think about herself sometimes. She's still just a sweetheart, and she deserves everything, and she deserves the world and love, and I love her so much. I wish she was real. She's definitely one of my fictional girlfriends. I don't have fictional boyfriends, I have fictional girlfriends. So yeah, she's one of them. Because Victoria is everything. Number 3 is Nick, another cinnamon roll. I actually know a lot of cinnamon rolls in books, apparently. He's from the Skin Jacket trilogy. I mentioned him in the last list as well, but not because he was on the naughty list, but because of the character that I did put on the naughty list. So where is my book? It's over here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so disorganized. So Nick is such a sweetheart. Yes, in the second book you do see his edginess, because he does have a bit more of an edge. But to be fair, he was under it wasn't a spell. It was a transformation, I guess, and he started losing his temper a lot and getting more angry because of the transformation he was undergoing. But at the end of the book, he technically dies again, because technically, I mean, this book is about ghosts, so they're all dead technically. But you have to read it to fully understand, because I'm trying not to go too into depth. But Nick is such a sweetheart, and he cares, and he is in love with Mary Hightower, even though he's too good for her. Yet he, unlike a lot of characters who would be so love-struck that they would just do whatever they tell them, or not go against them because they love them, he goes against her anyways. He loves her, and he wants her to see the light, but he also knows what she's doing is completely wrong, and he's not going to be fallen under her spell and do as she says, or just step out of the way so she can have her way, because he knows that what she's doing is wrong, and he's not going to stand by and do nothing when he has the opportunity to do something. So he's like the leader of the war that's against her war, and fighting against them, because he just has such a big heart, and it shows how amazing his character is to be able to go against someone he truly does love, because it's the right thing to do. Not a lot of people have that strength, and honestly, I think he's a lot like Ronald Weasley from Harry Potter. He's such a sweetheart that a lot of people think he would be in Hufflepuff, but he has those Gryffindor qualities that are just so strong that honestly, he might actually be placed in Gryffindor. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I could see it go on either way. Like Ron being able to be in Hufflepuff or Gryffindor, or Hermione being able to be in Ravenclaw or Gryffindor, And so yeah. Next is, I have 3 characters from Seekers, because I have to. I put it over here, okay. So, number one character that's on Seekers is Clique. She's not the sweetest character, but she definitely has one of the biggest hearts in series. Honestly, she reminds me a lot of Dean Winchester from Supernatural. Not the self-loathing parts. That part probably is more on Tokolo's behalf, but the fact that she is fierce and she is strong and she's confident, but she also has the biggest heart of anyone, and she's completely selfless and cares about all these other people and cares about the entire world. And honestly, yeah, so yeah, she's also a character that I could see being in both Hufflepuff and Gryffindor, but it's a little hard to decide which one she would be on, because whenever I think about her, she is the, how do I explain, like, she is the best mix of being completely fierce, yet having a huge heart, and I love that mix. I just think it's amazing. And if she wasn't a bear, actually she is on my fictional couples list, even though she's a bear, but I'm counting personality-wise and not animal-wise. Don't judge me, okay? I love her. This is Clique. So yeah, she's definitely a sweetheart, and she is fierce and stuff, and she can be hot-headed, but she's a natural born leader, and she has the biggest heart, which I probably mentioned 5 times in the last 2 minutes, but oh well, because it's true. So yeah. Second character from here is Eugerack. He is so sweet. He could honestly be either I don't know why I keep mentioning Hogwarts houses. I don't know. Maybe it's because a lot of these characters are Hufflepuff. That's why they're on the nice list. Like I said, I'm mentioning the nicest of the nice. So yeah. So he could be on either Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. Because he is incredibly intelligent, and he's the one that kind of leads them where they're going. Like, he's the one that comes up with all these signs that saying which way they need to go. He's the one that knows how to deal with the herbs to heal their wounds, which he ends up teaching Lusa both of those tricks because he knew he wasn't going to be around forever. Oh my gosh, I don't want to think about that. I'm so not ready to reread this because it's my favorite series, and I have to reread it at least once a year, sometimes more, depending on how many books I want to read that year. And oh my gosh, I just can't with this. Whenever I think about him, I just want to start. My eyes are actually watering right now. Okay, but basically, they wronged him on so much. I don't know if you guys are TV watchers or if you've seen one of my absolute favorite TV shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But there's this one character who they completely wronged on so many different levels, which was Tara McClay, who's one of my favorite characters, and they wronged her so much, and they didn't even put her name in these title sequence until the episode she ends up dying in, which wrong on so many levels because she deserves the world. She is also one of the purest cinematic characters to ever exist in anything, and I feel like they did the exact same thing to Eugerack because, I mean, each character, like, these are 3 characters, are Clique, Tokolo, and Lusa, okay? It would be better if I show you better. Clique, Tokolo, and Lusa. And then all 3 of them have their own point of view chapters. Like, this one is Clique, see? And then, let's see if I can find any of the others. Oh, I just found Tokolo and then I lost it. Okay, there's Tokolo. And Lusa. But Eugerack, they don't even give him his own point of view. He's technically not even introduced to, like, the middle of this book. But yeah. But then he's in every other book, and he's in almost every Tokolo chapter. At least in the first book, he's in every Tokolo chapter. But they don't even give him his own point of view chapter until the 6th book, which is the book that he stinking dies. They do the exact same thing to Tara McClay, and these are 2 cinnamon rolls that deserve the world, and they just were wrong on so many levels. That's not the only way they were wrong, too, and it just makes me so mad and sad because they are everything, and they deserve so much better, and it makes me so stinking angry. Moving on. that was my rant for the day. Technically, that was my second rant. My last rant was for Mary Hightower in the other video. So this rant was for Eugerack in this video. Okay. Stop moving! Okay. Next is... Oh, I forgot to mention the third character in this, didn't I? Lusa, the black bear. She's so sweet. She is 100% Hufflepuff. Yes, both Clique and Eugerack could differ, but Tokolo is 100% Gryffindor, and Lusa is 100% Hufflepuff. She's so sweet, innocent, can be a bit naive at first. I mean, after everything she goes through, she ends up losing that naivety, but she doesn't lose the sweetheartness. I mean, there is one time when she does look like she's going to turn a little dark when Chinoa dies, and Tokolo really or was it Clique? I think it was both of them. They both worried about her a lot because that was, if I remember correctly, that was after Eugerack died, and then Chinoa was a black bear, no, brown, black, one of them that Lusa got really close to, who had joined him for a little bit, but then he ends up dying, and Lusa gets really upset because like she's tired of losing people, and which is pretty much how Clique feels when Yakon, her love of her life, almost dies, because she's like, I can't lose him too, you know. And so, but Lusa doesn't lose that sweetness and that innocence. Well, she might have lost the innocence a little bit, but she's still innocent. But she did lose the naivety, thankfully, because if not, she would have died. She almost did die because of the naivety. But yeah, but she's a sweetheart, so yeah. Okay. Next is, I have two from Warriors. Okay, I'm not gonna go all the way to the shelf to grab Warriors book when I have some Warrior super editions right here. Okay. This one is Skyping Sesame. These two characters aren't actually in this one. I don't think so. I haven't actually read this book yet, but I don't think so, because it's about Skyclan, and one of them ended up leaving in the first arc, and the other one it doesn't even come until the second arc. So yeah. But anyways, I'm just holding up one book. It doesn't matter which book I hold up. Basically, so number one is Grey Stripe. He is just such a sweetheart, and so is Silverstream, by the way, and her death still upsets me. Not as much as Eugerack, but still upsets me, and I cried because she was a sweetheart. But Grey Stripe, he ends up meeting Silverstream and falling in love with her, and he ends up, he's the one that actually discovered Firestar back when he was just Rusty, a house cat, and then they get really close, and Grey Stripe is the reason why he ends up becoming part of the clan rather than a normal house cat, and then he ends up meeting Silverstream, who he falls in love with, and they even have, if I remember, I'm pretty sure they have kittens, and then Silverstream dies. It was kind of a forbidden relationship, which I don't talk about that enough. I talk about Leafpool and Crowfeather because they're one of my favorite. They're my favorite couple from the second arc. My first favorite couple from this first arc is Firestar and Sandstorm. So I do want to talk about Grey Stripe and Silverstream a little bit more, and Squirrel Flight and Bremaclaw a little bit more from the second arc, but that's besides the point. But Grey Stripe is just so sweet, and he really cares. He's a great friend to Firestar, a great mate, I guess, to Silverstream, and a great father to these kids, because I'm pretty sure they have kids. I might be mistaken, but for some reason I want to say they have kids. Yeah, he ends up leaving the clan because he wanted to raise. I'm pretty sure that's why he left the clan, because for one, they put him through hell for not wanting him to be with Silverstream, and because he wanted to be a father to his kids that were not even supposed to exist because they were forbidden. But yeah, so his departure is really upsetting. But yeah, so that's Grey Stripe, and then the other character, which is my favorite character from the second arc. Her mother was actually my favorite character from the first arc, but Sleeppool, I absolutely love her. She's such a sweetheart. She is one of the most cinnamon rolls, the most cinnamon roll in this universe that I've read so far, at least. I don't know, we'll see. But I still don't think I'll change my mind about Leafpool, because she's just everything. She's so sweet. She's on my fictional girlfriends as well. Don't judge me. But she is amazing. She's sweet, she's kind, she's loyal, she's trustworthy. She's 110% stinking Hufflepuff. Like, you can't change my mind. She is a Hufflepuff, and I love her. And oh my gosh, I love her. She's so sweet, and she even gives up the love of her life, Crowfeather, because they're forbidden because for a couple of reasons. One, because they're from two different clans, and that's why Greystripe and Silverstream were forbidden. But they were also forbidden. Even if they were from the same clan, they'd still be forbidden because she was an apprentice to be a medicine cat, and medicine cats aren't supposed to have mates. They're supposed to have their entire life be about healing the cats in their clans, and so medicine cats aren't supposed to fall in love or be together with anyone. So even if they were from the same clan, no matter what, they would have been forbidden. But because they're from different clans, that made them even more forbidden. I have no idea. I don't remember what clan Crowfeather was from, but I just remember that he was from a different clan, and it was forbidden. And they end up not being able to make it work. Some forbidden relationships make it work, and it breaks my heart that they didn't, because I still ship it so much, and it breaks my heart that they didn't end up together. Leafpool ends up doing what she thinks is right, which is being a medicine cat for her clan, and it makes me so sad because they should have been endgame. They should have been endgame. Moving on. What's next? Let's see. Draculaura from Monster High. Yay! And this is the perfect book for her too. She's such a sweetheart. Even if you watch the movies, you kind of understand what a sweetheart she is. She is the kindest. She is the sweetest. She is the most innocent and pure of all. And she has the biggest heart of anyone, which is actually mentioned in one of the movies that are I can't speak. One of the movies that are revolved around her, which is Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love, which is also one of my favorite Monster High movies. It's even mentioned more than once that she has the biggest heart of any monster, which is the reason why Valentine was after her in the first place, and one of the reasons why Claude fell in love with her. And she's so fiercely loyal and so amazing, and she really cares about other people, and she always does what's right, no matter her own personal feelings. And I love her so much. She's my favorite Monster High character, book or movie. She is just everything to me, and I love her. So yeah, so there's no doubt why she is on this list. Number 10 is Maddie from Ever After High. There's actually a series for it, and there was books. The first book I did not like, which makes sense because the first book is a lot like the first season of Ever After High, which I also did not really like, except for a couple scenes. And then the second book I was okay. I think I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. Actually, it might have been 2, to be honest. No, I think it was a 3 because the fourth book was a 2-star. The fourth book I did not like. The first book I did not like. First book I hated. First book just was a dislike. Second book okay. Third book amazing. That's why I picked it up. And it's also really nice. So I think I got rid of the others. First and fourth book you do not need to read this one. Second book you do need to read this one. But you only need to read it once to be able to reread this one. That's why I got rid of it. But this is such amazing. This might be my favorite because of the fact that it revolves around the Wonderlandians, and they are my favorite characters. My favorite characters are Lizzie first, then Maddie, then Kitty. This has a lot to do with the 3 of them, along with Cedar. And Maddie is just so innocent. She is so happy all the time. She's a little mad, but she is the Mad Hatter's daughter, so can you really blame her? But she's just so sweet. She's fiercely loyal to the Wonderlandians and Raven, and pretty much anyone, to be honest. And she's the one person that Royals, Rebels, everyone in school likes, even if they don't understand her, even if they think she's insane. She's the one student that, no matter if you're a Royal or a Rebel, you find out in the second book that she's the one person that everyone likes. Royals, Rebels, everyone. And she's just such a sweetheart. She's innocent, she's pure, she's kind, she's loyal. She defines Hufflepuff, and she's amazing, and she deserves more recognition and love. So that's why she's on this list. Keep moving this. I'm fucking. Okay. Next is. 2 characters from Isle of the Lost. Where is Isle of the Lost? I just saw it, didn't I? I think I moved it somewhere else. Didn't I move it back? Oh wait, here it is. So I did move back, kind of. Okay, here it is. It doesn't have the cover for it anymore. I would grab one of the other books, but I don't know where I put the second book. And then the 3rd book I'm just starting. And the 4th book my mom is reading. I don't know where I put the second book. Oh, here it is. It was right here. Ah! I dropped the book. Okay, here it is. The second book, because it actually still has the cover. So who are the 2 characters? Oh no, there are 3 characters on here, right? Yeah. Okay. 3 characters on here, which are Carlos. Obviously, he's such a sweetheart. He's actually someone who could be both Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, because in the books they really get into his intelligence, which I wish they would have gotten a little bit more into. In the movies they did a little bit, but not enough. The movies are Descendants, if you didn't know. These are books to Descendants. It's like it goes the 1st book, 1st movie, 2nd book, 3rd book, 2nd movie, 4th book, 3rd movie. So that's the order. So if you guys want to read the book, Isle of Lost, Return to the Isle of Lost, Rise of the Isle of Lost, Escape of the Isle of Lost. So yeah. But I'm currently rereading them, and I'm on the 3rd book, and they are really good, and you get a little bit more into your favorite characters. And Carlos is just a sweetheart. He is just so kind, even when he's not technically supposed to in the first Isle of Lost when they're in the Isle, but he's just such a sweetheart, and he really cares, and he helps out Evie a lot, even when he isn't supposed to, and he is just a sweetheart. I honestly would probably put him in Ravenclaw, but Hufflepuff would definitely be in him too. So yeah. And then, oh, why did I put it down? Okay, Evie is the other character, and she is probably going to be in 100% Hufflepuff. She is so sweet and kind and caring and loving, and she is just so mothering and nurturing, and she's definitely the mother of the group. She is just always there for them. You know, she helps out Carlos in the 1st book, even though she's technically not supposed to, and she's just so good and pure and defines Hufflepuff, and she's just, if you guys have seen these Descendants movies, I'm sure, well, actually you might not have, but if you have, then there's really no need to explain my reasonings to putting them here. But 3rd person is Ben, because he is just a sweetheart. He really cares about his people and about the Isle of Lost people, which before he makes that proclamation, before that they start bringing some VKs and people start loving the VKs, he was the only one that cared about them. He was like, they're my people too, and their children are innocent, and I need to help them too, because I have to, because they didn't do anything, and I need to be there for them too. And he's the only person at the beginning who cared enough, who actually liked the VKs, who wanted to help them. And if it wasn't for him, oh my gosh, the story never would have happened in the first place. He's so underrated. The 4 VKs they're actually tied for my favorite character, because I can't choose just one. All 4 of them are amazing. Ben is a close second though, because he is just pure, he is sweet, he's so kind and loyal, and he's really there for them when no one else is. Seriously. So yeah. I don't know where I'm at. Okay. I have 2 from a different Monster High series than the one I already mentioned, which are Monster High Girlfriends. So one of them is Rebecca. She's so sweet and innocent and pure. She has such a big heart, which Sai mentions in one of the books, because she really cares about other people. And like it was in the 4th book, because when they were doing this little party, I guess, for Torlai and Cleo, because they were kidnapped. Actually, they were technically kidnapped, but they were kidnapped, and I don't know what that was. Okay, but they were calling it Gauze and Claws because Cleo wears gauze and Tori likes cats or claws. But then Rebecca makes a note about shouldn't it be called like what does she call it? I'm just gonna say Hetty, Webby, Claws and Claws because I don't really remember. But Hetty for the headmistress Bloodgood who was also kidnapped, and Webby for Winona Spider who was also kidnapped. Because they were, so she was like, shouldn't it be like a party for all four of them since they were all four kidnapped? And then that's when Sai made a remark about her having the biggest heart of anyone, which was kind of true. Well, Ty, because the other person is Sai. That's another reason why they would be so perfect together. And they are kind of canon because Sai had a crush on Rebecca, and I'm pretty sure I think I already made a video about why, about like proof that Rebecca had feelings for Sai too, even if it wasn't mentioned. So yeah. So yeah. So Sai is such a sweetheart. He's always there for the ghouls, especially Rebecca, but all of them. And he's always there, and he was kind of, Rebecca never really took him for granted, but I think Rochelle and Venus did sometimes, because he was just always there. He was always there, whether or not it was to tell Rebecca the time because she never knows the time, or it was to give her back Penny because she misplaced her mechanical pet penguin again. She's flighty and she's a klutz, but she's a sweetheart. But Sai is just such pure, such good cinnamon roll, and I don't talk about her nearly as much as I should Rebecca too. She's not actually my favorite character on here. She's out of the girls, she'd be second. Rochelle would be first. I love Rochelle, and I don't even know why. Venus would be third. But I like Sai more than Venus. I still like Venus, but she's just not my favorite. So yeah. But Sai and Rebecca, they're both just such sweet, pure cinnamon rolls, and they would definitely be on the nice list. They care about other people, and they really think about other people, and there's no doubt there's just no doubt in my mind that they'd be on the nice list. Okay, what's next? I have 4 from Harry Potter. There's actually several Harry Potter characters that are probably on the nice list, but I'm only going to mention 4. I'm just going to grab one of the books. I don't really care which one I grab. I'm just grabbing one of them. The first one I saw, which is Half-Blood Prince. I should have grabbed Sorcerer's Stone because it's so much smaller, but oh well. I don't know where I put the Sorcerer's Stone or where my mom put it. Did I call her? Oh my gosh. I'm done. Anyways, so one character on here is definitely Ron. He is so pure and kind and loyal, and oh my gosh, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, he definitely could have been Hufflepuff, but I'm honestly not surprised he's Gryffindor because there are some amazing traits he has that is 100% Gryffindor. So yeah, but he's just such a sweetheart, and he's always there for Harry, and he never asks for anything in return. I mean, he stinking sacrificed himself at age of 11 at the stinking chess game for Harry and Hermione. Then there's the whole part about on the train in the first movie, in Sorcerer's Stone, where he had like half a sandwich, and he offered it to Harry. Even though he had very little, he still offered half of a sandwich to Harry. And they literally just met. If that's not the most sweetest thing in the world, then I don't know what is. You know, and there's several other things. I can't think of them now. Yes, he has his faults. Yes, he's made mistakes, and but a lot of his mistakes are justified, and you can understand his point of view. You know, but no character is unflawed. Even the purest of the pure, they still have their flaws, and I just love Ron, and he's amazing, and he's my favorite male of all time. Another one is Neville, who is another cinnamon roll. He's so sweet. He's everything. I love him, and he is just so amazing. He cares so much. He's another character that could have been either Hufflepuff or Gryffindor, to be honest. And he's just amazing. He's everything, and I love him. And he really cares about other people. And I love in the first book when he is like, I won't let you guys lose us any more house points, and he stood up to his friends, which actually ends up getting them the house cup in the end because he got them the extra points they needed to win the house cup. because Neville is amazing. Because that just shows that he belongs to Gryffindor, because like that is courage to stand up to your friends. Plus, if it wasn't for him, Harry, Ron, and Hermione would have died. There's no doubt in my mind, especially Ron and Hermione, because he has a killing Nagini that was about to eat Ron and Hermione, and Voldemort was actually winning the battle until Nagini died, so Harry probably would have died too, and then the entire world would have been destroyed if it wasn't for Neville. Yes, it's a team effort, because Harry, Ron, and Hermione all did their part, but at the same time, Neville came through in the end and saved them all. And then there's also Luna, the Pierce of Pierce. She's just so sweet and kind, and I wish it would have shown her Ravenclaw things a little bit more, because like most of the time you did think she belonged in Hufflepuff, because it didn't really show her Ravenclaw abilities that often. At least I don't remember. I haven't read the books in a long time. The movies I remember more, but I'm actually gonna reread the books soon, so yeah. But it just but she's just so pure and innocent and kind. She cares about other people. She has a huge heart, and I just love her. And then there's also Jenny Weasley, who's my favorite female. I think that's an unpopular opinion, because most people go gaga over Hermione, which I love Hermione too. She's one of my top favorites, but I like Jenny more. She's just amazing. She's fierce, and she's kind, and she's loyal, and she's independent, and she's sweet, and she's tough, and she's confident. And I just love how amazing she is, and how she's like all of these things at once, and she is sweet, and she is kind, and she does do things for other people, and she's just amazing and underrated. And I hate the fact that nobody remembers what she went through in the second book, because like Harry isn't the only one that's had Voldemort sneaking in his head, which even Harry forgets that Jenny had him in her head, yet everyone kind of just pushes it away, kind of puts her on for granted, and she just deserves so much better, and she deserves a lot more love than she gets, and she's just amazing. She would definitely be on the nice list, no doubt about it. Okay, and the last one is it's high up here. I'm tiny. Okay, wrong character. Isabella from Hocus Pocus and the Autumn sequel. So the sequel part. Isabella, Poppy's crush. Isabella was so kind and so cute. So I said cute. Oh my gosh, Poppy's in my brain. But she's so kind and so good, and there's even a point like she's so loyal to Poppy, and it's like it follows Poppy. So it's like Poppy's confused about why Isabella would want to hang out with her and Travis all of a sudden, because she's like the most popular girl in school. She's like someone that everyone loves and adores. She's like supposed to be the most beautiful girl in school, and she's just so. But even though she is popular, like Katie's popular too, but Katie's mean, and then Isabella's popular, but she's also really nice and sweet. And she started hanging out with Poppy and Travis at the beginning of the school year, and Poppy has no idea why. But at the end of the book, you find out that the reason why Isabella's been hanging out with them is because she had a crush on Poppy, and they ended up kissing, and it was really sweet, and I loved it. I remember reading that really clear to me, and I got so excited, and I was fangirling so much. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, it's about time. It's about sneaking time. I've been waiting to sneak it. Have this book for you two to kiss, so kiss. And yeah, so. But yeah, so she's just so sweet, and she's always there for Poppy, and she even goes to, her and Travis are there. Travis is someone who's completely loyal to. He always follows Poppy around and will help her with whatever she needs. But she's there for Poppy at the very end, and she's always there, and she's kind and generous, and she really thinks about other people, and she helps, and there's no doubt in my mind that she would be on the nice list, because she deserves to be on the nice list, no doubt. So yeah. Okay. So that is it for this video. Please like and subscribe and comment who you think will be on the nice list, and if you agree with these characters. You can find me as Secret Books on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. And Wattpad, you can find me as author Johara Harper. And then what else do I own? Facebook, I have a Facebook group called Book Addicts, a Facebook group called Seekers, Warriors, Survivors, and Bravelands, and a Facebook group called Johara Harvest Books. And you can join them all, and I will accept your invites. And yeah, that's it for the video, so I will see you guys later.